All right, so good news. I'm back, and back from the trip, getting reacquainted a little bit. I think I fixed the frame rate issue. The game was running great the whole time, but it was recording at a weird rate, and I think that's no longer a problem. Hopefully. Sure hope that's the case, because the game has been running at approximately 60 frames per second the entire time. But some of those early ones looked kind of iffy, so I'm trying to fix that. It has been interesting, though. I kind of reviewed what the first game looked like, even, and yeah, it's weird. This lady in particular, just like...
No, it isn't what we wanted, but what choice do we have?
She has really concerning facial animations, let's just put it that way. And so I went back and looked at like some videos of like Ashley Williams, one of the human crew members of the first game, and in 2007, 10 years ago. And yeah, there's a lot more to her animations than there are most of the people we've seen so far.
Check the consoles down here, right? Huh. I think you forgot to hit confirm when you filled out the forms. They're not listed. Nah, it's fine. If you say you fixed them, you did. I'll just check those boxes for you.
I'm also slightly concerned that there's supposed to be 1,200 voiced characters in the game. I think that's a stat being thrown around. I mean, it's cool that random people like him say a thing when you walk by him, but that's not exactly a quality measure. We'll see. I'm always worried as an RPG player when a game brags about numbers as a primary incentive for playing it. So we'll see. Hey, look, this guy's actually doing something. He's repairing an actual panel and not just standing around and like her, pointing an Omni tool at a random thing. Hello, Omni tool. Omni tool. Everyone's just staring at their Omni tools. Oh my god. It's like being in a restaurant in real life. Apex status. Lieutenant, based on status report 16C, it seems we're no closer to gaining a foothold in any sector. Without decent recon and greater intel on this enemy, I'm starting to think our efforts are futile. The risks involved in continued loss of resources and lives make it hard to justify. With morale this low, we need to scale down expectations again. Kandros.
What am I going to do?
This is neat. We reached the Turian-heavy corner of the map.
I know that look. The others bent your ear, did they?
Something like that?
You get used to it. Just focus on being a Pathfinder. Can't argue with results, though they'll try. Anyway, welcome to Militia HQ. Excuse the mess. This office fields militia work, Nexus security, and looking for the Turian Ark.
What's the word on the Turian Ark?
Scattered readings. Some indicate the Natanus was destroyed, others that people are alive. Who knows? If you need anything, come see me, even if it's just a vent.
You talk like you weren't part of the leadership. How did you end up commanding the militia?
I was escorting a prospecting team on some moon when those Ket found us. They penned us like cattle for experiments. I managed to get loose, snatched a gun, and freed the others. By the time we killed the bastards and headed back to warn the Nexus, everyone looked at me like I was in charge.
That sounds familiar.
The militia grew from there. Funny, once the heat is on, all kinds of people rise to the top.
So Kandros and I are both people that are just suddenly in leadership positions as kind of a surprise. Our character seems rather unfazed by the whole dead father thing so far. I feel like he should be a little down and out by now, considering our sister is in some sort of coma thing she may never wake up from, and our father is dead, and we came across the entire universe. Well, we jumped from galaxy to galaxy at the very least to find out that our supposed new home is a nightmare.
What brought you out here to Andromeda?
I was tired of being the good one.
The good one?
The Kandros family is old military. There were expectations, you know. Then my sister became a sculptor and cousin Irene went pirate on Omega. Everyone was proud that I stayed in service. But I kept wondering, when do I get my adventure? Jen Garson's dream was so grand, so gutsy, I had to be part of it.
Ah, reference to an old game. So Kandros is apparently a cousin of Nyreen, which is a character that Arya has close relationships with in the Omega DLC of Mass Effect 3. Although I'm not really sure how much there is to the idea of saying that it's old military when you're talking about Tyrion family. we've only really ever heard of Turians all being militaristic, although it could be like could easily be like the Alliance, where you primarily encounter the actual marine and military arm of the human race over most other ones.
Are the other Turians managing okay?
So. We're not good at sitting around in a crisis. Service before self gets drummed into us at boot camp. That's probably why so many of us are in the militia. We like to earn our citizenship, whatever galaxy we're in. But it's hard to focus with our arc missing.
What do you know about the enemies we've encountered? The Ket?
We usually see them on worlds with those alien structures. The Ket don't take kindly to anyone studying them. Not sure why. They don't talk to us. Every time we cross paths, there's a fight or they take prisoners.
Why? What do they want?
No one knows. But I've seen their weaponry and what they do to those prisoners. I want them a long, long way from the Nexus.
It's rough out there. I might need backup, if you can spare the people.
I have strike teams specializing in assault and extraction. If you need serious firepower, my Apex teams have you covered. In fact, I could give you authority to dispatch them. It'll cut down their response time.
Thank you.
Our current ops are on the terminal. See if there's anything that could use a shot where it counts.
Bye, Kandros. Duty calls.
You and me both, Pathfinder.
He kind of had a weird eye twitch where he would try to emote, but his eyes would mostly look like triangles were coming out of them. I wonder if they were trying to do... It almost seemed like they were trying to do human emotions on his face, but the model didn't work or something. So we can do strike team missions right
This
here.
console reports on the militia's current strike team missions, Pathfinder. Please speak with Tyrion Kandros for authorization to participate.
Didn't he already say yes?
That's the console for our strike teams.
What are they?
Assault and extraction squads. When we need the best, I have Apex, combat experts who've signed up to defend us. Since you have a front row view of the cluster, I can give you authority to dispatch them.
What situations should they handle?
Protecting civilian outposts, holding key positions, or just distracting the Ket. Authorization complete. Good luck out there.
There we go. Yeah, that guy's got seems to have some awkward gun discipline back there. Whoa, his gun changed. He had a pistol in the cutscene, and now he's got an assault rifle. Does he change back to... I wonder if he changes to the pistol every time he does the whole I'm squatting and pointing up animation. Here it comes. Nope. Maybe I saw it wrong. I could have sworn he was holding a pistol a second ago. Hey there. Lots of missions here. Okay. So, right off the bat, we have clear and escape route. Apex missions, time required 4.5 hours. Strike teams can be sent on missions to support the Andromeda Initiative. If they succeed, they'll earn experience and Ryder will gain a reward. If they fail, they'll earn only a small amount of experience and no special reward. Apex is the most elite strike team in the cluster and handle critical missions. Select a mission and press space to send Apex. Your progress will be automatically saved before multiplayer is launched. Oh. Then you'll play the role of an Apex operative in a small squad. Play Apex missions in multiplayer, either with friends or through public matchmaking, to earn strike team rewards for Ryder and additional bonuses. Ah. Okay. So things that have... What is it? So things that have this symbol are ones where I have to physically go and play multiplayer? And the ones that don't have that symbol are like what? Like I send someone on a timed mission and they go out and they come back like in a Facebook game? Okay. Oh god. Okay. These missions are currently available for your strike team. Select a mission with space to select a type. Yeah. Icon describes the difficulty of the mission. Read the description for each one. Time limit to attempt the mission. Reward for successfully completing the mission. Any mission traits and properties. Ah. So doing the mission takes 4.5 hours and expires in a day. So the missions are going to change. So for someone that's recording daily videos, this entire list might even cycle out every day. Okay, and you get rewards in the form of mission funds, whatever that means. Okay, so these ones are Apex, but these ones are not. This is like a nice short one I can do in the span of like right now, and come back to it in a little bit. That one's pretty short. Sabotage enemy operations not started. It takes an hour and expires in less than an hour. I assume that means you can still do it. Mission traits are no room for error, poor weather conditions, and remnant. Hostile forces are resisting your attempts to gain a foothold in the area. Hit their base and sabotage their operations while we prepare an offensive. Select. I have whiskey at level 1. So, 78% chance of success. Takes 1 hour. What are your traits? Rugged. Plus 10 to effectiveness during poor weather conditions. So they benefit from poor weather, apparently. But not necessarily the other parts. So it overall has 78. Okay, let's see how it goes. Have fun. So I guess I'll just hear back at that, because I think they're my only team right now. This is your current list of recruited strike teams. Each team with select a team with space to equip them with specialty gear. Retire a team with V if you want to recruit a fresh team when they're placed. The more strike teams you have, the more missions you can undertake at once. Select recruit team to recruit a new strike team of to your cause. Strike teams on a mission can earn positive traits if they succeed and negative ones if they fail. Strike teams traits can change the chances of success the team has on specific missions. This feels weirdly like I'm playing Darkest Dungeon again or something. Okay. Let's recruit a team. Costs 40 mission funds, which I have, so I guess I'll do that. So now I've got Oscar, apparently, which looks completely identical. Oh, never mind, it's 3 Asari instead of being an Asari, a Solarian, and a Krogan. Outlaw Specialist. Bonus effectiveness against outlaws, okay. Close? Oh, weird. You have to hit spacebar to close. Clicking on it doesn't do anything. Weird. Okay. So, Outlaw. No room for error. Key intelligence component. Takes 2 hours. Determine enemy strength. Hostile forces appear to be planning an attack, but it may be a feint to distract us. Harry their defenses and get an accurate estimation of their strength. I get the feeling I don't need to care about the description and just look at whether or not it'll work out and the reward and so on. The dialogue seems kind of filler. 25% chance of success. That's not good. 5% chance of success. Oh god. 78. Oops, I accidentally sent them on that instead of canceling out. All right, well, that was a decent chance of success at least. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how I feel about there basically being Facebook games in my Mass Effect. Although they did the same thing with Mass Effect 3. If you didn't want to play, your options for increasing your readiness rating, your galactic readiness rating, was to either play the multiplayer mode or send people on little missions, like a Facebook game, and click on them, and they're like, I'll be back in 3 hours, and then they come back and they're like, you got 3% readiness in Omega. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not playing a video game, though. And I guess they brought that back for some reason.
Wrong. Just wrong.
Something's wrong? What's wrong?
It's not right. It's not fair.
What's wrong?
Oh my, So it's true. A Pathfinder has found us. There's hope at last. Maybe you could help. You're impartial. This whole thing has gotten so political. My husband, he's locked up and slated for exile for a crime he didn't commit.
A Pathfinder has found us? Are you supposed to be on the Nexus, or are you supposed to be like in a colony somewhere in the game? Like you're literally on. Oh wait, never. Sorry, I forgot. We're not on the human colony thing. We're on the actual Nexus. I had to remember that that's a separate thing, so that I am a new arrival here. Although they recognize me really quickly. Let's see.
What exactly was he convicted of?
They don't exile you for petty theft. Well, maybe this bunch would. They say it's murder. They're calling him the first murderer in Andromeda, but the dead man was his friend. He wouldn't have. There are witnesses and evidence, but it's all circumstantial. At worst, it was an accident. His name is Nilken Rensis. He could give you the details if you were willing to speak with him. Please.
I'd be happy to.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure the jailer will allow you a visit. Please, tell Nilken I love him.
Oh, okay. We've got our first side quest, basically. Somebody who also stares at their Omni tool all day, like everyone else. But they've got a potential false accusation going on here. You want to talk at all? No? You want to maybe sit in that chair? You just like to hover over it? That's what you like to do all day? Alright. What's the point of all these being hollow screens? I just feel like it displays less information than an actual, just normal screen would give. Are there holograms behind the screen? Excuse me? There are. I guess it's like the system... That must be like information about like the temperature of the computer or something and things like that. Hello, my only crew member so far. Oh, whoa, one of you. That was not who I thought it was.
Pathfinder. No time for our beer yet. This place is a mess. Security is... let's call it strained.
I can believe it. The Nexus is running on empty.
Not just that. A lot of the exiles were security. Everyone was trained and armed for Frontier. We know Cat are dangerous, and now we have to worry about our people too. No idea where they went, but they left mad.
They were frustrated. If they just wanted to kill, they could have fought to the last here.
Apparently we're the big hope for everyone. Not the Hyperion showing. Just us. I'm with you. It's just... a lot.
As long as the Nexus is here, as long as we're here, we have a job to do.
Double down crisis mode. I can do that. We can do that. Ready and willing, Pathfinder.
Yeah, it's odd. We're like the chosen ones for this entire organization right now. I think there was supposed to be Pathfinder for every individual ship, right? But the other ones haven't been arriving. So as of right now, we're the leader of everyone, which is a development. I'll give it that. I feel like you guys could use chairs. It's good for posture maybe than standing and hunching over like that all day. Like, you've been working here for what, over a year? And you're crouching over your console that's on the table. I'm just saying, when people play a Pac-Man arcade cabinet that's a tabletop one, you sit in a chair. It'd be really uncomfortable to do that all day.
How about you not dissect things over lunch? It's weird.
Herrick, I want to talk to Solarians. Get out of here, random Asari.
You must be the Pathfinder. Wonderful. You and your Sam are exactly what we need.
Thanks, Mr...
Professor Herrick, my colleagues and I will work with your Sam and the data you gather to solve Andromeda's scientific mysteries.
What fields do you study?
Eric's into life sciences. I do planetary geology, oceanography, rocks and runoff. Aradana's the space and math whiz.
Not that we've had much to study, with everyone cooped up for 14 months.
But your data on the Scourge flows like poetry. Now we can better advise on repairing the damage it caused.
And maybe Addison will give us a real workspace. Who can think with all this racket?
Ooh, the geologist said run off.
Hi, Pathfinder. Want to hit some rocks for science?
Yes, try and stop me.
Absolutely. What do you need?
Sam and I used your scans and made a VI for geophysics surveys. Beta builds on the console there. Test it out in the field, and I'll wrangle you a consultant's bonus from Director Addison. How's that sound?
Oh, it's a scanning quest? That's it? We're not going to actually talk... You lied to me. You said we're going to talk rocks. And Herrick, you're just staring at me. We're having a conversation here. It's very rude. What's that? Wow, what? Sorry, what? What's going on with this console? Geophysics VI beta build. Patch notes. Chief R. Lucen. Streamlined interface. Tuned voice recognition to recognize both aluminum and aluminium. Haptic interface no longer defaults to transparent. That's good. You wouldn't want to be transparent. Haptic interface not found. Yeah, that's literally not found, apparently. Customize SAM handshake protocols. Okay. Activate? Exit. Nope, still sparking. I'm concerned that that's the one I got something out of. I feel like that's not the best sign. Herrick? Can I talk to you? Do I have to stand in I think I do have to stand in front of people. Huh.
Pathfinder, those bioscans are superb. Could you gather more for our comparative conservation effort?
What conservation effort?
Ah, my thesis is on the console there. Broad strokes, we're comparing and preserving organisms from both galaxies. If you donate more bioscans and samples to the catalog, I can get you a finder's fee. Tempted?
There we go. Oh, also needs access to the terminal. Same one? Why are all of these things on the crappy terminal that's not working very well? Final proposal, Professor N. Hurek et al. Since we are, by definition, an invasive species to Andromeda, our inevitable footprint must be laid carefully, and we must preserve anything we replace. The Helios cluster presents an unexpected challenge. We arrived with seed archives and DNA banks to ensure preservation of the biodiversity of the Milky Way, but this cluster is scarred by the Scourge, and its unique flora and fauna are threatened by its turbulence. That, too, requires conservation. There we go. Okay, cool. I don't have to activate them separately. They'll both stay active. I was kind of worried I'd have to turn them on one by one and come back each time when I wanted to change projects.
Pathfinder, we've had some trouble.
Anything I can help with?
Perhaps. I discharged an away team to get readings from a section of the Scourge that was behaving anomalously. They haven't reported in for some time, and sensors can't locate their shuttle. I sent them out there. Good, dedicated people. I fear what might have happened to them.
Don't give up hope. When I'm out there, I'll see if I can find them.
Their friends and family will want to know what's happened, and I need to know.
Whoa, she's warping around a little bit. That was weird. Yeah, that was odd. I started talking to her, and she kind of walked away from my. Oh, I can't use the. Yeah, she doesn't have anything on the terminal for me. It was weird how she kind of like started walking away entirely in the middle of our conversation. I don't think that was intentional. I think I timed the conversation perfectly when she was going to start walking.
The beauty of the cosmos unfolds in your planet scans, Pathfinder. But there is more they can do.
Do you have something in mind, Doctor?
Plans for a school are underway to inspire a new generation of young minds. I want to craft a model of the cluster for them, accurate and splendid from your data. My prototype is on that console. Add more scans to improve it, and I will share my educational budget with you. And my thanks.
Alright, slightly worried a little bit. I talked about how it'd be a bummer if this game turned out to have the same issues as Inquisition, and we kind of have two of those warning signs showing up a little bit here. One, kind of like factory-produced, like rapid-fire, I don't know, like low-ish effort NPC interactions where there's people that you kind of don't really have a conversation with, and they kind of just jabbermouth. Like their mouth flaps as they say their monotone line, and your camera's in a fixed position and stuff like that. But also the quests would be fetch quests or MMORPG style quests where it's like, kill 10 things to get a thing, and then you come back and like, you killed the things, congratulations. Like, which is very much not how the first 3 Mass Effects went, or even how most of the Dragon Age games went. So it was a weird change, and we're showing the signs of that happening again. That said, I did largely enjoy Dragon Age, even if I don't rank it super high as a BioWare game, so we'll see how this goes. Cluster model. Dr. Leinomi Aridana. The 3 initial system models will be complete next week. We shall see our place in the world. Orbital variance, the Nexus, it must be corrected as construction corrects our orientation. A reminder, our daughters will not know stasis. 600 years, the 600 years sleeping. They will be born of Andromeda, and whatever is unfolding. This cluster is in chaos, was not welcoming. But it matters less what we suffer here, more what we bring. She's putting poems in her program notes. That sets her apart a bit, I guess. Because each of them kind of had a different way of documenting their own stuff. Oh, here we got a few things here. Have I looked at the Exile report? Because it's marked like I've read it before. To Jaren Tan, Director of Andromeda Initiative, from Tyrion Kandros. Forwarding report, Recon Team 232. Trails cold. Found what looks like an abandoned camps in the Pfeiffer system, but none with living inhabitants. Only graveyards. The conspirator Irida was among the dead, but not Sloan Kelly. Kandros. So, damage control. To Tyrion Kandros from Jaren Tan, Director of the Andromeda Initiative. Kandros, as you're aware, there was a mutiny aboard the Nexus during your absence. Events escalated quickly, but we believe it began with a fire in hydroponics and theft in the armory. Motivations for the uprising vary. Mob mentality was certainly a factor, but for the leaders, including your predecessor, former Security Director Sloan Kelly, it was a conscious betrayal. There have been perfunctory attempts to catalog and address the damages caused by Sloan's people during the uprising. Supplies stolen, equipment broken, things of that nature. But I was hoping the militia could step in and draw up an official report. It's imperative we know what we are working with if we're going to survive. Director Tan. To Jaren from Tyrion. Director 10, I need my people focused on defending the station, not taking inventory. If you really need militia oversight, I'll get Sergeant Nels to look at it. That said, it was my understanding the Exiles were more Calix's people than Sloane's. Isn't he the one who started the mutiny? Kandros. To Tyrion Kandros. Calix Corvanus may have started it, but Sloane made her allegiances clear. I know she held you in high regard, but I hope you can be impartial when it comes to this task. Director 10. To Jaren 10. Sloane Kelly's not who I thought she was. There won't be a problem. Kandros. To Kandros. Good. Then you won't object to sending a small and discreet reconnaissance team to find out where Sloane and the Exiles might have gone. When we do get colonial efforts up and running, I don't want any surprises. 10. So that's what that was talking about then. So it talked about like it wasn't a new message because there wasn't an exclamation point, but it seems like it was. Because I don't recognize it, and it seems to be the follow-up here. Okay. So Tyrion looked for Sloane, but never found them. Found Irida and other people dead, graveyard, but Kelly wasn't there, Sloane Kelly. The question is Kandros covering for Sloane Kelly, or is he genuinely trying to find them and failing to do so? An Asari sword for 400 melee damage. Asari huntresses are masters of silent stalking and killing. Many combine blades and biotics, which is why you've never heard of this before. Charging forward at mind-bending speeds before swinging their swords with enhanced power. Huntresses are rare, making such swift assassinations necessary for Asari military victory. Yeah, I've absolutely never heard of there being an Asari huntress. That's new. But I'll take a weapon if I can find one. Not much else going on back here. So we've got a probably pretty extensive place to check out, right? Oh. To worry about different floors. Huh. Is that necessary, I wonder? Because it mostly just makes it harder to tell what the overall scope of the map is compared to where I've been so far if I have to change floors constantly. That goes to Colonial Affairs. Is that what this is? Yes. So I have to keep track of a bunch of different connections now if I want to keep track of how this map works out. Or just stick with the hug the right wall method to navigating. This place is constantly a mess, huh? Every single square inch of this place is constantly being repaired. Which is a bit of a surprise, because they've been here for like a year? I guess they're constructing, though. Right, never mind. This place is active construction, not under repairs. Got a store. Cobra RPG. Alright, that's my items. Oop, there's the Omniblade 2. M37 Falcon. M23 Katana. So a lot of familiar weapon types. And their models look pretty accurate to what we've seen before. Sell all salvage. I'm going to assume that that's an accurate button that I'm supposed to do. I hope selling salvage is something you're supposed to do, and then there aren't like awesome items in the salvage thing that I'm like wasting. Because some games make that mistake, and those games are baffling to me.
Weapons and stuff. I got you covered. Use the console to take a look through what I got. It'd be a lot easier if I weren't missing half my stock.
Ouch. Why am I paying for these?
Half the supplies are inaccessible, what with how we crash-landed and all. And I have to trade with the crooks out there for the rest, so...
Help you?
Pathfinder Rider, here to see Nilk and Rensis.
Ah,
Our murderer. Wife's here all the time. Guess she told you her sob story. Milken, you're moving up in the world. There's a Pathfinder wanted to chat with you.
A Pathfinder, huh? They called in the big guns to exile Andromeda's first murderer.
Your wife's all broken up over this. She says you didn't do it, and that she loves you.
She's a wonderful person. At this point, it's too late. They found me guilty.
Why don't you tell me what happened?
I was part of the futile effort to set up a colony on Eos. We were on our last legs, overrun by hostiles, our leader dead. The security chief, Reynolds, my friend, he refused to call for evacuation. I argued with him. Everyone saw.
So when he was killed, people assumed you did it?
For good reason. He ordered us to regroup and counterattack. We were moving through a sandstorm. I saw movement, thought it was the Ket, and I guess I panicked and fired. A witness saw the chief's chest explode.
Sounds like an accident.
That's what I told them. But I was enraged when we argued. There's a recording. It's ugly. Everyone's certain I did it on purpose so we could evacuate. Only my word otherwise.
I'll check out the evidence. Maybe something doesn't add up.
It'd be nice to have someone with an open mind looking at it. You're a Pathfinder. I'm sure Kandros would give you access. Maybe there's still hope.
Yeah, maybe there's hope. Maybe we'll find some sort of crazy detail that completely exonerates him from being the person that shot him at all, but otherwise, yeah, it's hard to say it was an accident when you just straight up shoot somebody, even if he was obscured, it's not exactly easy to blame it on someone else, and the number one way to get somebody off in that situation, I think, is to be able to blame somebody else for the murder instead of them. So maybe there's something I can dig up that finds out that somebody else totally was responsible. But if he did it, even if it was an accident, it's going to be hard to make that argument.
No news on the Turian Ark yet? Or is this militia business?
I spoke with Nilken Rensis, the man found guilty of the murder on Eos.
Yes, our first murder here in Andromeda. I wish it had been our last. When the colony attempts failed, it didn't help spirits that a high-ranking officer was killed by one of our own. The mutiny here on Nexus was probably inevitable, but this acted as a spark.
So there was a trial and he was found guilty?
It was short and decisive. Despite the lack of physical evidence, everything added up. His only defense was, trust me, I didn't mean to do it.
That is the difference between murder and accidental death.
In this case, motive plus opportunity plus eyewitness account equals murder. Look, knock yourself out. A key witness, Cassidy Shaw, works in operations. Go ahead and talk to her. And there's a recording of the perpetrator threatening the victim. I'll let you cue it up on the console there. As far as I'm concerned, this case is closed.
Bye, Kandros. Duty calls.
You and me both, Pathfinder.
It's true. It'd be kind of hard to make the point that no, he's totally innocent. But if this key witness turns out to totally, when pressed, admit to the whole murder, which sometimes happens in these situations, then that would definitely 180 the whole thing.
The Nexus versus Colonist Nilken, Evidence 7A.
Hiram! Hiram! They've seized the compound! Call for evacuation!
We're not giving up, Nilken. We're taking it back.
No! I'm not letting your ego get us killed! Even if I have to...
No! Get him off me! Get him off me!
That is not... It's not exactly helpful. Got bad signs at the moment. Okay, so... Might as well track that one because I'm not exactly in a hurry to rush off for the main story yet, necessarily. Toggle tracked? No. Wait. Journal. Wow, I had to, exit out. Weird. Oh, that's super weird. So clicking priority ops doesn't work. Does escape work? Okay, escape works. So it was defaulting to being in priority ops as opposed to the root directory, which is weird because I was opening it from default up here. Also completed. They give you exclamation points for your completed missions. That's a weird choice. Who would want to see all their completed missions? Additional tasks. Scan the planets across Helios. Scan 50 planets? Just giving me that right off the bat, huh? Scan 10 Andromeda wildlife. It's not a very big list of wildlife types for an entire galaxy. Especially one with where I'm scanning 50. Well, never mind. It makes sense for 50 planets, because of course most of them won't be habitable. In fact, virtually none of them would be at that number. Speak with Tan. That'll come up at some point. Find the missing science vessel. That'll be something to come up at some point, sure. Hitting rocks for science. I approve of that name. Whoa, whoa, really? There's that many layers. Okay. Admittedly, I complained about Mass Effect 3's mission menu, because Mass Effect 1 and 2 had a main missions tab and a side missions tab. And it was nice to have them categorized separately so you can switch between them and keep them and tell which ones were which. Even if Mass Effect 2 muddied the waters by making all of the loyalty missions count as main missions, which is they're technically side because they're optional, although you should do them. But now we have this, so I go here and it's like I click on Helios assignments, then Nexus. So that's layers and layers at that point. So I'm looking for Witness Shaw, allies and relationships. So there's actually a lot of menu clicks going on in some of these things. Okay, so priority ops, Nexus reunion. We'll get to that in a bit. First of all, let's look for first murderer. There we go. There's probably a few more clicks than necessary. I think a simple case of probably 2 tabs or maybe 3 would be the maximum that would be necessary. A main missions tab, a side missions tab, and then like a resource gathering / collectible / filler mission that you can kind of ignore tab would probably be the best way to split them up. Because the fact that like there's already like 5 categories now, but wait until we have more subcategories for each of the individual menu options, and we'll start to feel the pain for how many there actually are right now. Let's try looping around a little bit. Let's get back to this person we're supposed to meet with. Where are they? Right over here? Where's... oh, up here. Oh, it's the white-haired character we saw in the back over here. Cassidy Shaw.
Cassidy Shaw? I'm Ryder. I'm looking into the Nilken murder case.
Oh man, I thought that was over with. Have you heard the audio recording of their fight?
Yes.
I helped pull him off Chief Reynolds. You could see it in his eyes. He was gonna kill him. Then in the sandstorm, I had a pretty clear view of the chief. He looked right at Nilken and shouted no. Then his chest burst open. I'll never forget it. The look on his face was pure shock.
Did you see any cat in the vicinity?
Nilken said so, but not that I could see. Still, the sandstorm was severe. Visibility wasn't great.
Did Nilken seem remorseful?
I lost sight of Nilken in the turmoil. When we found him, he seemed in shock. He couldn't speak. He looked nauseated. Could have been guilt. The reality of the act sinking in.
If they'd fought and Nilken threatened to kill him, why was Reynolds surprised?
Fronts fight, say things they don't mean, maybe even hurt each other. But you don't expect your best friend to shoot you. To me, that's the saddest part. The chief's heart was broken right before it exploded.
Reynolds was leading you back to retake the compound. Did you agree with that?
It wasn't my place to agree or disagree. He was ranking officer. In retrospect, it is ironic. If he hadn't been killed, we all probably would have died.
I appreciate the information.
Of course. It kills me we had to leave him behind. He deserved a proper funeral.
So the body was never examined? Important piece of a murder investigation.
Tan wouldn't allow a mission to go back for him. Said it was too dangerous.
Ah. So that's where we gotta go now, right? We gotta investigate the body so we can actually find out how they died, and maybe that'll be the conflicting piece of information. Otherwise, there's not much to get from what she said, because she's just saying that he was surprised, but him being surprised doesn't mean anything. Like, surprise could be anything. It doesn't really indicate that she was surprised by who killed him. It's just that he was surprised when he died, and generally people don't see their own deaths coming, so that says basically nothing. So now I have multiple things pointing at speaking with Tan, so I guess I'll make that my next objective. Might as well hop around between some of these characters for a bit before I jump straight to the next objective, although... Was my, priority ops... Yep. Supposed to talk to Director Tan for the main mission, and for now, multiple other missions. Let's see. So I kind of went up and down this middle area. After looping around there. I guess there might not be much else to do right now, is there? I feel like I haven't seen that many doors, because this is where we saw the Krogan. Yeah, I guess going to the other side and talking to Tan is the only real way to go right now. I don't really see other paths to follow up on for the moment. Alright, I'll take that for now.